Appreciate y'all waiting patiently. We had some exit interviews we had to finish up. Took a little bit longer than we anticipated. Let's get started here. 11 wins, tough to get in this league. We didn't reach our goal. We talked about it as a team. We're all disappointed. Feel that we built a solid foundation for the future and made progress towards our goal. We have a bad taste in our mouth right now, but that's got to fuel us moving forward. With that, we'll open it up.
Ben, when you look at the offensive personnel you have, including the guys on injured reserve, how close do you feel you are to having enough to get you over the hump that you had this year?
Well, we felt that we had the talent and the coaching and the scheme this year to have a better year than we had. We obviously fell short from an offensive perspective. We need to go back and take a look at the film, do the scheme evaluations, do the personnel evaluations, and look at everything that's involved. And I need to take a good look at everything and see where we can get better.
Sorry. How do you, when you view the season? I mean, I know you were very clear. The goal was to win the Super Bowl, but I assume playoffs was also another goal. I mean, how do you view the degree to which this was a success?
No, I think we made some progress. We didn't reach our goal. There's only one team that's happy at the end of the season, and we're not going to be that team this year. We're going to have a bad taste in our mouth here for a little while, and when we come back here in April, and hopefully before then, but within the rules, that we'll get better and have a chance to evaluate everything and use that for fuel for success for the future.
Coach, when you look at the
offensive evaluation, is play calling, is that something you're going to look at?
Everything. We need to look at everything.
Why do you think the offense, 17 games, never really clicked? Why do you think it never did what it did in the past?
Well, you take a look at it, there are opportunities out there. We had opportunities to be successful. Some plans were better than others. Some games, you have to go back and take a look at it. It's hard to come in here and say we were so focused on the ball game yesterday at this time to give you a straight answer. We need to go back and we need to study it, study the personnel, study the scheme, study how it fits together and what we can do to get better.
Coach, when you look at your rookie class this season, you had guys like Eli Apple, Paul Perkins, Sterling Shepard, Romeo Okwara, to a lesser extent, Jarrell Adams and B.J. Goodson, all of whom contributed immediately to your scheme. What does that say about your team when you can have rookies come in and contribute to the team's success immediately?
I think we added a strong class of rookies and free agents to the locker room this year. And the young guys, they really worked hard at developing throughout the course of the season. At the end of the year, we got a lot out of them, and that's encouraging moving forward. But, at the same point in time, they need to take a big jump from year one to year two. There needs to be a big jump there. We can't have any sophomore slumps.
Did you address the team today, and if so, what was your message to them?
Very similar to what we just talked about here, that they bought into a rookie head coach, and I thanked them for that. That was important for me personally. Thank them for what they've done for the Giants organization, putting themselves out there the way they do. Talked about making progress, that we have a solid foundation built. We have talented men of integrity in the locker room, which is important. And we didn't reach our goal, and we all know what the goal is, and we need to keep working towards that goal and use this last game as motivation.
Ben, Eli Manning, that is, just said to us before that he thought maybe Odell made the game too big, that he wanted to have his best game ever, rather than kind of just trusting the process, whatever. Do you think that's possible when you think about the way Odell's played yesterday?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think anything's possible. I think Odell went out and he played with tremendous effort. I think there may be some signs of some guys pressing in the ball game, but you go through it, you learn, and next time you have that opportunity, you have to cash in on it.
Ben, what's your feeling about
the wall?
One more time.
Did you ask him if he punched that wall?
There's a hole in the wall in the locker room in Lambeau. I take full responsibility for it, and that's not the way we want to be acting after ball games.
Did he hurt himself, his hand at all, punching the wall?
I answered the question.
Ben, what is just your feeling about what you might have to accomplish with him in the off season to I guess just get him more in line with proper behavior.
Yeah, listen. After an emotional football game, we need to make sure we put a lot of thought and energy in how we want to carry ourselves.
You don't condone punching a wall, correct?
I do not condone putting holes in the wall. No.
When did you become aware of that?
Last night or early this morning.
Did you talk to him about it?
He and I had a conversation. There have been conversations, but again, there's a hole in the wall at Lambeau Field. We take full responsibility. I take full responsibility. It's no way to carry yourself after a ball game. Let's move on.
Ben, he has made so many difficult catches that when we see games like yesterday, we look and count numerous drops. How do you look at his performance yesterday?
Well, I don't think as a team we handled the ball very well. Odell had a couple costly drops. That's something that's going to stick with him for a long time. He'll learn from it, and he'll grow from it, and he'll bounce back.
Ben, how much of his thumb was a factor in that game between that and the cold?
Yeah, again, we didn't handle the ball well enough. When the ball hits our hands, we have to catch the football. That's part of it.
Does he need any procedure for his thumb in the offseason?
Not that I'm aware of.
You talked about having a solid foundation in the young players. How do you balance that with having a 36-year-old starting quarterback, presumably over?
Yeah, Eli to me was moving better in the pocket than he has since I got here. He threw the ball with tremendous zip all season. He had a couple come out, funny, but a lot of guys do in weather games. But I thought yesterday, man, I thought he was stroking the ball pretty good. The go route was about, was a nice, had a nice depth to it, and he fit a couple nice shots in there. Yesterday, the post was a nice throw and catch with him and TK, so I thought he was throwing the ball well. I thought he was moving in the pocket well. I thought he played well.
Do you think physically, mentally, Eli has a lot of years left to play?
Each and every day we all have something to prove in this business. So each and every day we have to go out and prove it. I don't see anything from this year that says he can't play at a high level.
Ben, towards the end of the first half, when you're presumably trying to keep the ball away from Aaron Rodgers, why Bobby Rainey on 3rd and 1 and not Jennings or Perkins?
It was a 2-minute call, and it was kind of a combination short yardage 2-minute call, and the defense took away the A gaps, and Morgan Burnett made a nice play on the ball.
Would you like to have that one back to get one of your top two backs in there?
I mean, any third down conversion you don't get, you want to have back. And yeah, absolutely, that's one of them. Yes.
Ben, Eric Flowers, by Pro Football Focus, is rated the 59th best tackle. Do you have to get someone in here to compete with him or think about ways to either challenge him differently to get better out of Eric Flowers or to do something at left tackle?
And we're going to go take a look at all of our personnel and our schemes, and we're going to evaluate everything, put it all out there on the table, and see what we have to do to get better. But it's a little early right now to say what direction we need to go or where we're going to go. But competition's always good.
What did you see from him this year, though?
I saw a guy that he's learning to trust his technique. That's with young players, the way they come into the league now, that they have to take a leap of faith with their technique. As far as the bending, keeping your elbows tight and striking with your hands and pass protection, finishing the way you're capable of finishing, those are things that need to improve.
Were you content with the progress that he made in that regard?
I'm not content in the way we played offensive football, no.
And do you have any injuries that you are concerned about? Maybe these guys won't be ready, when you start back up again in the spring?
Yeah, we just had the exit interviews. They were getting checked by the doctors. It's a little early for me to say.
Coach, you've been roster-wise, you're reasonably close here. That with a couple of moves, you can contend for a Super Bowl.
I think that we need to keep developing players. I think that's important. Whether it's a veteran player coming off of a good year, or a young player that's making progress, we need to keep developing the players on our roster, and go back and take a look and see what we need to add, whether it's a veteran piece or a nice draft class, but we need to keep acquiring talent and developing players.
Coach, you've been head coach of the Giants for just over a calendar year now. What has this experience and journey been like for you as a person taking over one of the most prestigious franchises in the NFL?
I haven't had time to sit down and reflect on anything. I'm not sure it's been a calendar year. Today is Monday, that's all I know. But, it's haven't had time to sit down and reflect on it. I'm just focused on the task at hand.
Ben,
What's
do you
your
see a spot
what's your
for Victor
evaluation
Cruz on this
of
team
your?
next year?
Even though you haven't had a chance to go back and look at it, what do you think about your first year? What's your evaluation of yourself and how you think you did?
Well, the bottom line is all that matters. It's a bottom line business. And we fell short of our goal. We made some progress. Not where we want to be.
What do you think you need to do better? What would you like to improve going into your second year?
Put the trophy in the case. That's the goal here, period. That's what we're here to do. That's why we show up to work every day.
Are there any steps along the way you think that now you have some experience?
Yeah, that's a good step. That's the next one.
Ben, with a handful of personnel moves coming up this offseason, where does JPP rank for you guys trying to bring him back?
Again, we haven't even had a chance to sit down and talk about much of anything yet. JPP is a tremendous player, great talent, can rush the quarterback. Anytime you can rush the quarterback or cover somebody on defense, you're a valuable asset. And, we'll take a look at that and talk about that here shortly.
Do you want him back?
Do I want him back? JPP's a heck of a player. He makes a lot of things easier on defense, sure.
Do you consider the plan that you and Aaron Waldman put in place this year, taking care of guys' bodies? Do you at least consider it a success that you kept a lot of guys, even if they were banged up on the field?
That's the other thing that we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the schedule and we're going to see how we can make it better. We felt we made some progress in some areas, building guys up to the games, being able to practice with pads later in the season. That's always encouraging, but I think everything can get better. Don't ever be satisfied. You can't stay the same in this business.
After the last 2 games, a lot of fans, where was Tavares King this year? I guess I think a lot of fans are wondering.
Yeah, Tavares, hats off. He did a tremendous job the last 2 games, got behind the defense a couple times, ran a nice post route yesterday, focused on the ball, opened some eyes.
Did Victor Cruz prove anything to you? Obviously, he stayed healthy, but is he a viable 2 or 3 receiver in this league, do you think?
Victor staying healthy is obviously encouraging. We'll sit down. We'll have discussions with Victor like we do with all of our players, and I'm confident in Victor.
You want him back?
I'm confident in Victor, absolutely. I want them all back. I like them all.
Ben, when you look back at the play of the defense, did it exceed your expectations? Did it come together the way you had hoped?
I think defensively, like we said early in the season, we acquired some talent through free agency and acquired some young guys through the draft. And when you have a chance to hit on talent, you always don't know what you get until they get into the building. So I think we had a talented man of character, and that's the biggest thing. Guys who enjoyed seeing everyone else in the room having success, everyone else on the defense having success, and not being selfish. So everything fit together schematically.
Ben, do you anticipate or will you consider any coaching changes, or do you expect anyone to not be back?
No, it's way too early for that, but I don't anticipate anything. But never say never.
We'll take 2 more questions.
Ben, you obviously just said the idea of you want everybody back as a team. Is that the hardest thing on a day like this that this team has constituted? When you return in the spring, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, you talk about building a solid foundation, but not everybody's going to be in there. The room's going to change. Things are going to change. Some coaches may move on to bigger and better things. Some players may move on to bigger and better things. Since they played at a high level, they may have an opportunity to cash in somewhere else, or may not fit, or whatever the case may be. But teams change year in and year out, and when you miss an opportunity like we missed yesterday, and we felt we had plenty of opportunities, it stings.
Ben, with Odell, from an X's and O's standpoint, defenses did a lot to not let you get down the field with him. Eli mentioned that today, especially late in the season. Will it be a point of emphasis for you this offseason? How can we get down the field even if they're going to try and play us like that?
I mean, you can get down the field. There are things you can do to get down the field schematically from a passing game standpoint. It just takes time to get there.
Ben, Landon Collins today and other players over the last couple weeks and even months have talked about how they found you very easy to communicate with, that you're open to their ideas, and they appreciate that a lot. That's obviously an intangible, but is that something you believe you leave this first season with, knowing that you have that foundation as you look forward?
I believe in communication. I think it's important in leadership. I think whether they're a veteran player or they're a young player, they need to be able to come up and communicate with me or get a message to me and then have me go communicate to them. I think that's an important part of growth. My door's always open. A lot of guys took advantage of it today, and I'm sure some will moving forward. And then when they come back in April, that's something I encourage. I think it's important for growth.
Do you have a date for when they come back?
We're going to try to get them back here as soon as we can get them back here. You know, they spent a long time away, like coaching players.
What do you do the next couple of weeks?
We're going to sit down, evaluate players, evaluate scheme. I'm ready for next year. Let's go.